page the last 7 years. You guys are nuts. I love being a part of the page. Um, we love all the support that we get, and looking forward to having a good time on the podcast with these guys.
We're going to switch it up a little bit. Rob's in the car. He's on his way, I believe, to the garage. Rob the Butcher, you want to shout yourself out a little bit?
Yeah, I'm Rob. On the page and on the blog, I go by the Butcher. That was just the name that I had in high school. I think Chris was one of the ones who was instrumental in making sure it stuck because I hated it. So it stuck. You know how that goes. But yeah, like I got involved with Drunk Phil's fans early on. I was writing on my own personal blog. That's how long ago that was. And Chris said he liked the way I wrote and my attitude, and I was all Philly, and we went to high school together. So he said, "Why don't you come write for Drunk Phil's fans?" So I've been around. Christ, I don't know, almost since the beginning. So.
Well, nice to meet you. Considering it's the first time I've seen you too. So, moving over, the man with the hat and the glasses. We'll kick it over to John Kruk. John, shout yourself out a little bit.
How you doing, everybody? I'm pretty much the new guy on board. I met Chris a couple of years ago at a Phillies game from Philly Sports Strip, and actually won my ticket through Drunk Phil's fans, and that's how I went out with Chris, and I've been talking to him ever since, and kind of started out the whole character John Kruk just by seeing the robe in the Philly store, bought it. My mom's like, "Don't buy it. You know you got to buy it when your mom says no." I happened to be there with her, so I got that, and it just started from there, and made the name up John Kruk, and it just caught on, and I'm happy to be a part of the group and looking forward to follow you guys.
That's it. Yeah, I feel like you and I have known each other for a long time. It's only been like maybe 60 days, but can't wait to have a beer with you. Hey, everybody out there, my name's Mike Christie. I would like to think that Chris and I kind of started all this weird Drunk Phil's fan stuff in 1995-ish. Basically. And when we played together at Philadelphia College of Textiles and Sciences, for those of you out there that now call it Jefferson, fuck you. Been out of the Philadelphia area for work for about the last 12 years, and happy to say I'm moving back in about 22 days. Not that I'm counting. So this is our crew: 2 Chris's, a John, a Butcher, and a Mike. So we're gonna dive right in here, guys, because we're 3 minutes in, and that's just right on time. So the first topic of conversation, and I'm gonna kick it over to Dugan, I think first. We're 13-2, and when I say we, yes, I do play for the Phillies in the last 15 games, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, Chris. Why don't you give your perspective?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing in this run has been quality starting pitching that the Phillies have been getting. If you look, Wheeler, Walker, Suarez, I think they all made 3 starts in this run, and all their ERAs are under 1. Bullpen's picked up 5 wins during this stretch too. The one guy who has struggled is our boy Aaron Nola. He's got about a 4.5 ERA during this run, but he's pitched well enough. He's 2-1 in his last 3 starts. Somehow the Kyle Schwarber batting leadoff thing just works. It makes no sense to me from a baseball perspective, but it just works. The guy comes out, hits a home run in the first inning, and the Phillies seem to be off and running whenever he does that. So it's been a combination of some clutch hitting. They didn't hit much in this Oakland series, but managed to win all 3 games with some clutch hitting. And the pitching just been great. Look forward to that to continue.
So with that being said, John, anything that you would add in this last 15 game stretch?
Just to piggyback on what Dylan was saying, with the hitting, I would have liked to see more hitting in the Oakland series, but whatever they had to do to win the games, they did. So I was satisfied with it. And like he said, I'm satisfied with the pitching, but the thing that bothers me overall still, even during this run to the series, this season so far, is the 5th starter debacle, as you would say. I think they're 2-10, 2-11 in these, or 2-10, I think, in these bullpen games. And I think Dombrowski's desperate. He's hanging on, waiting, hoping Painter will come around or whatever to bring him in. But you gotta fix that. You gotta have somebody as a stopgap until that. I'm thinking.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit later on. Get your perspective on some additions that we might be able to make to that pitching staff. Butcher, anything to add here in this last 15-game stretch?
Well, yeah, I kind of like I like Schwarber in the leadoff spot just because I thought Trey had to be knocked down. I think he had to be moved down to get his shit together because it just seemed like there was too much pressure on him at the top of the order. And there's something about Schwarber, man. Like when he gets those, he's the kind of guy who needs to see a lot of pitches. And if he's batting at the top of the lineup, he's seeing more pitches. And obviously he thrives. He likes jumping on a pitcher early. So I think that's part of it. I think that's a big part of it.
Chris Nowazik, any final thoughts before we move into the next topic?
Yeah, so I'm man enough to admit some mistakes, and Christian Pache is an elite defender. I ripped the new asshole basically entire April when he made the team.
And he's got a red and blue glove now.
And he has the red. I love that because I hated he had the Lemay's glove, but he's been awesome.
In your defense, he reminded me a lot of Roman Quinn back then.
Yeah, I was just really, surprised at how elite a defender he is. I mean, he played center, left center, right center, and a little bit of left the other day. Just awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I think we all poo-pooed the Pache deal when it first came out. So good to see him, starting to thrive in a Phillies uniform. We'll switch gears a little bit. We got some key series coming up against the Braves and the Mets. I think I'm going to go back to you, Chris Nowazik. What are your expectations? What do you want to see us do in these next two series?
Realistic, I want 4 wins. 4-2 is what I was looking for. 6-0 would be nice. If we win 3, I'm hoping it's all against the Mets because fuck the Mets.
Fuck the Mets.
The starters I saw for Atlanta, I think we're lined up good. I'm not worried about them. We're getting Strider, but other than that, the other 2 guys are like what they normally do, AA guys. So we could get no hit. It's always a possibility. But I think that seeing Suarez twice is good for us. He's on a hot streak. Walker, I'm more worried about Nolan. That's like crazy. You shouldn't be worried about your, supposedly the guy, but that's the one I'm worried about. But 4 wins is what I want. 3-3, I will not say as many motherfuckers. Anything less than that, I'm gonna just unleash on a lot of MFers.
You got to break the bell again.
That's possible.
John, let me hear what you have to say. Braves and Mets.
I'm looking for I'm on the same page, at least 4-2. I'm thinking I would like to steal 2 of 3 versus the Mets, but I have a vibe that we're gonna just take 1. I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence with them Brave series. I would like to get at least 2 of 3 against them. I would like to sweep the fucking Mets because fuck the Mets exactly. But in the Brave series, I'd like to get to their bullpen. Get Strider and whoever else they have. It seems that when they get injuries, they just bring somebody up and they start kicking ass. So I would like to try to get them, knock them out of the game and get to the bullpen and score some runs against these guys. Hopefully snag 2. I'm hoping for 2 against the Braves.
Appreciate that, man. I remember the last Strider game I watched, they hung in there with him, and then they got to the bullpen, if I remember right, late. So, Butcha, what's your keys against the Braves and the Mets?
Well, they got to keep hitting, and their starters have to go deep. We have to get those quality starts, so up to 6 innings or more, and then and then put it in the bullpen's hands. But I think we're going to need to score runs. The Braves are going to score. The Mets, I'm not too sure. Fuck the Mets, of course. But I'm thinking like Chris, and I would like to go 6-0. But if we can win each of these series, that's how you build the season. Is you just win one series after another. And I still I've watched a lot of baseball in my life. I played a little bit. I still don't understand what makes Spencer Strider so good. I watch him pitch, and the dude moves the ball around, and it's frustrating as shit because he is a Brave. But it's like somebody's got to get to him. So I'm looking for somebody on the Phillies to fucking get to him this time.
Yeah, I like that. He's got a lot of life on a fastball, and what I mean by that is, if you hear anyone talk about it, at the last 6 to 8 feet, it kind of pops at the plate, and that's what's really makes him different than other players that throw 98 miles an hour. Dugan, what you got for me?
Yeah, I'm on board with these guys, but I really don't want anything less than 5-1. I want 2 out of 3 from the Braves, and the Mets are down. It's time to step on their fucking faces and just and turn the tide. They've dominated us for 2 years now, and it's time. We're home. It's time to turn the tide and just sweep their asses right the fuck out of the bank. I'm sick of losing to the Mets.
Yeah.
I'm sick of watching the Mets. I'm sick of hearing about the Mets. I want to kick their ass 3 straight games and then get 2 out of 3 from the Braves. So fuck the Mets.
It sounds like a plan to me. Cool. I hear there's a tailgate. Who wants to talk about this tailgate on the 24th?
Yeah, so I'll talk about it, Mike.
Yep,
so
thanks.
on 6/24, there's going to be a tailgate in K-Lot starting at 11 o'clock. The game starts at 4. It's only at 11 o'clock because they won't let us in before then. Because it's 11 a.m., not 11 p.m. So it's really organized by the Bell Smashers. So thanks to Kylie, Jen, and Haley. Also Fired Up Sports, Mike and Carter Hart is going to be there. I think there's going to be a bunch of other social media dignitaries there. It's BYOB. It's just a bunch of people that hate the Mets and think they're pieces of shit and love the Phillies getting together. And the impetus of the show, of the tailgate, was really the Phillies sales office is allowing these motherfuckers to throw out the fucking first pitch. And I think it's fucking disgusting, and I'm so fucking angry about it. So, I'm not saying, I get it. They want to sell tickets, but don't sell tickets to the opposing team and let them throw out the goddamn first pitch. I'm not pissed off at the Mets fans. Good for them for doing it. I mean, I get it. I wouldn't want to go to Citi Field either because it's a shit stadium and a rundown Flushing. It smells like garbage. It's probably built in a garbage dump. They're pieces of trash, and fuck them. And I hope we give them a fucking beating that day. So,
Yeah,
I agree.
I might have got a little heated up there, but hey,
You're allowed.
11 a.m. to 3, BYOB. I think it's going to be a good time.
Awesome. Do we have comments on this? I know I shouldn't probably be asking that.
So I'm seeing Freddie Short, our boy,
All right.
pulling up some comments saying, "What's up, boys?" And thank God for the new mitt for Pache.
Yeah.
As well as Don from Drunk on Broad. So he says, "Looking good, fellas." So Don, you must need glasses.
Yeah.
They're cheap, and we'll I'm sure it's just that.
I'll throw a cheap go to aisle 6 at Walgreens. They're $10.
The plus one.
All right, guys. Hey, moving into our next topic. It's a really frustrating for me being in a different city and then talking with folks that I know around here around this Josh Harrison character. What can we do with Josh Harrison? And do you guys have any suggestions for pickups? I'll kick it to you, John, first.
I liked the signing when they signed him. Then I saw him play, and I said, "What the fuck is this?" Pretty much, I thought it was a good vet signing. Good for the clubhouse. Not that he could ever fill Kutch's shoes, but that kind of guy that's been around, whatever, like a veteran presence. But when they throw him out there, he just makes boneheaded plays. He's not hitting. what's he like 38 now? I think he's getting up there.
36.
Yeah, like we're not really spending a lot of money on him, but he's taking up a roster spot, and he's just it's very frustrating lately.
Yeah, Dugan, thoughts?
Yeah, I like the signing too at first, just because veteran guy had some versatility, could play third, second, first. You could put him in a corner outfield spot. You thought he would hit enough to at least be a nice spot starter, give Stott a day off here and there against lefties, but it just hasn't panned out. During the COVID season, they had signed him back then, and they ended up releasing him during that second spring training. I'm not sure why we brought him back again this time. I'd like to see a younger guy. I mean, I actually felt bad that Dalton Guthrie ended up getting the DFA today. That's a kid that I think defensively head and shoulders in the outfield better than Harrison. And I know he played some infield when he was down at AAA last year. So I think he's a guy that could have maybe filled that role for a little bit till you found maybe another veteran guy that you could bring in maybe at the deadline to kind of give you that bench presence and that versatility. I just get sick every time I see Harrison in the lineup. I just can't do it anymore.
I hear you. Before I go to you, Chris, I'm going to throw one out there because I saw this guy play a little bit when I was on a business trip recently, and then I looked him up when we decided to do this, and I'll throw out Brandon Drury. 211 games in the last few years at third, 192 at second, 48 at third, 76 in left field, and 11 at shortstop, 263, 320, 492, and 28 homers with 87 RBIs, and he makes like no money. So that's a guy. We love the West Coast American League teams. He's an Angel currently. We have a reputation of dealing with them in the front office. That's a guy I'd throw out there to take a shot on instead of Harrison, who is running in for a fly ball and falls down. I thought Chris was going to have an aneurysm when that happened, but just my 2 cents there. Noazic, your thoughts?
What if I told you there was a guy that was available that's hitting 270, has 7 home runs, 16 RBIs, 16 stolen bases, and a 400 on-base percentage, can play third, short, second, left, center, and right. And he's free. I mean, and he's right-handed. Would anyone be interested? I think Harrison, the signing was a great idea, but I think it's time for slap nuts. I think that there's in my mind, there's a Game 7 World Series where slap nuts is up, and he's going to be the guy that gets that little slap single through the right side and 2-run score. I think there's a redemption factor in slap nuts, and I think Kingery, he has to be brought up now. I know it's probably tough to DFA a guy who's 36 and been around forever, but he's not bringing any value to the team. And the Phillies are paying for him already. Why not give this dude a chance? He can play everywhere, and if it's the right-handed thing, and moreover, Jake Cave is hitting 400 or 391 in the International League. What does this dude have to do to get to either play here or trade his ass? Let's play him a little bit, and we're going to talk a little bit later about trade people. Like maybe he's one of the people, but I'm done with Harrison. I can't see Grabastic play out there. He's not bringing any value that I see on the fields. In the dugout, that's cool. Bring Reese along for a little mascot, but I don't want Harrison on the field anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just want to remind you, you wanted to cut slap nuts approximately 6 months ago. Just saying.
I might in 6 minutes. I don't know.
Got it. Very good. All right. Hey, next topic of conversation here is it's going to be heated, so I saved a couple extra seconds for it. Nola, 2024 and beyond. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm gonna go to you, Dugan, first.
I'm done. I'm out. I'm out on Nola. It's a shame. I want to like this guy so much, but his droopy dogness, the no emotion, I just can't take it. I mean, he's given up 15 home runs already this year, 15 starts. I think it's 11 straight games he's given up a home run. and he never a shutdown inning. He doesn't know what a fuck the shutdown inning is. Phillies go out and score runs for him, and he gives it right back. He's pitching to a plus 4.5 ERA right now. Half his starts are not quality starts. People are going to throw his numbers at me left and right and this and that. And the eye test tells me this guy just doesn't have it. He's just not a winner. He's not a guy that can bear down and be a bulldog, especially with runners on base and in tough spots. He just crumbles. Get guys on base and he starts slopping up cookies, that are getting hit out of the ballpark. I just, I don't think they're going to move him this year because I don't know if there's anybody available that's better than him. But I can't watch this guy pitch for a team that's going to compete. I just can't. I don't think he's got that bulldog you want to see in a team that has some bulldogs on it. So I'm out on Nola for he can be gone next year. I don't care if he goes out and he wins 5 Cy Youngs somewhere. I don't want to see him in a Phillies uniform anymore.
Yeah, it kind of translates to business, right? If you have someone that's mediocre or below average and you don't do anything about it, then your aces, your really top performers go, well, why do I have to try hard? And, in my opinion, I think Wheeler should have pitched game 1 of this season, the season opener. And I think if you watch the first couple of outings that Wheeler had, I think he was a little bit pissed off about that, to be honest with you. And he's since picked it up, but that's just my 2 cents. John, what do you think about Nola moving on, next year and beyond?
If Aaron Nola had a Tinder profile, it would say blows leads. The guy, I was out on him like the last couple of years, but this year I was like, this is like a prove it year for me. Like, I know it's the last year of his contract, but like, you got to prove it to me. Like, when you hang around, do you have what it takes to be a stud? He's like a number 3 on any other staff. I'm tired of the like making excuses all the time, blaming his pitch clock. He doesn't own up to his mistakes. He just doesn't have like Dugan said, he doesn't have that dog in him. And I can't trust him in a close game. Like, if we're down 1 run, 2 runs, it's hell. If we're down 3 runs, we're up. I'm sorry. If we're up like a couple runs or 3 runs, I can't trust him to hold that. It's like the Rav 4th, and then he pleads the 5th. It's like that's just, I'm really out on him, man.
I appreciate that. Hey, Butcha, welcome back. Glad you got that thing taken care of at the Minute Clinic. Yeah. We're just talking about Nola 2024 and beyond. Any thoughts?
I think he'll be wearing a different uniform. I expect him to do something here at the deadline, and then I think that Nola will become expendable. I don't think you can pay him all that money to be this unreliable. It's like every start you're waiting for that pitch where he hangs one, leaves something out over the middle, and it's always to a guy who doesn't hit a lot of home runs, and then all of a sudden now this guy's a fucking power hitter because he's facing Nola, and then he goes on a stretch where he strikes out 12.
And gives it up.
And like John was saying, like, if you have a lead and Nola's in there and it's like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, like, you're probably going to lose that lead. And that's like, Ranger's got ice in his veins right now. Like, where is Aaron's fucking composure? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, good call. Noazic, final thoughts on Nola?
So
I know you got him.
Kind of told, a little bit of a story here. So my youngest, who's watching, Avery, she asked me, she says, can I watch this? Is it going to have bad words? And I says, you're going to hear as many bad words on this as you hear during a Nola start. So she's, used to it. And then segueing into that, Winnie the Pooh and Aaron Nola have a lot in common. And what I mean is, he's Eeyore. There's always a problem. It's always like, oh, the pitch clock is too quick. Oh, the wind's blowing this way. Oh, the sun set up. Enough. Just sit up. Let me put a situation. Another game 7. There's been a bunch of rainouts. All 5 Phillies pitchers are available. In what order do you want Nola to pitch? Because right now, I want Wheeler, Suarez, Walker, then Nola, and then whoever the hell the number 5 is. He's our 4. Nola is the 4 right now, and there's no doubt about it. It's not even close. The other guys are out there killing it. And I also feel like a certain way when in certain games he does not protect our players. And what I mean is I've never seen Aaron Nola throw at a guy ever in a situation that absolutely calls for it. And as like a teammate, if he's not going to protect me, fuck him. And I hope that he plays, well wherever he goes. And, I don't know where that is, but I don't want it to be here. I'm just kind of done with the Nola thing. Like, we did okay with him, but Chris and I were talking quality start. Innings all the time are 6. Yeah, he has the most innings, and he has the highest ERA. It's just been really tough to watch, and I just wish he got balls. That's, if I were king of the world, I want to give Aaron Nola a 7. I don't think he has it.
I would agree with the Eeyore comment and the protecting your teammates. That I agree with that part.
Yeah.
All right. So I think it was unanimous. Let's move on from Nola unless he gains some balls from Chris. All right. We're gonna jump into our last topic, guys, of the day. Trade deadline needs and targets. Remember, August 1st, trade deadline. So, hey, Butcher, why don't you start us off?
Yeah, I was reading something today.
I don't understand.
I was reading something today. I'll try that again. And one name that popped up is Corbin Burns, and he's a guy who's got good control typically, and he can go deep into games. And I thought, okay, if we can pull him from Milwaukee, I'd like that. I'm not too sure about Goldschmidt, just because I know it's going to cost. Of course, I want that bat in my lineup, but what's it going to cost us?
Yeah, John, what do you think, man? What can we add here before August 1st?
Like Rob said, I would love Goldschmidt, but at the same time, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg probably, and I don't want to give up all that. I would like. I mean, if we could get him, I heard rumors swirling about Bieber. The Indians might not want to pay him that much and let them shop him, but Tristan McKenzie's out for the year now, so that's a problem. So I'm not sure if they're going to be wanting to deal him right now. With depth and all, and they got a lot of guys to call up, but still, I would like to get CJ Cron somehow if we could pull that off for first. It'd be a little cheaper, it's cheaper than Goldschmidt. You probably wouldn't have to give up that much, as big of a haul.
Yeah, you and I have talked about that one before. Dugan.
Yeah, I'm with John. CJ Cron's a guy that I like, because I think this lineup's missing a power right-handed bat, as well as Castellanos is swinging the bat. He's not really hitting for home runs. He's more double power right now. So they kind of need that right-handed pop that Reese, we're missing without Hoskins in the lineup. Fifth starter obviously is like the elephant in the room. I mean, they need to address the fifth starter. I don't know if they have enough of resources to go get like a Bieber or a Stroman or something like that, but maybe a guy like Lance Lynn with the White Sox, or this kid that the Phillies just faced, the lefty Sears out in Oakland. A guy like that, a little bit on the cheaper side, but that gives you innings, is going to give you what a number 5 starter would, give you that 5 innings, 4 or 5 runs, keep you in ball games, eat innings. I think they're those kind of players, not the big names, will be more of the targets. But they definitely need some right-handed power somewhere in this lineup. If they get Hall back again, it's another left-handed bat. Bring up Jake Cave, it's another left-handed bat. Slapnuts comes up, he's not really a power hitter. So they really need some right-handed pop. Christian Walker's probably out of it because Arizona's playing so well and they're going to be in the mix all year. But it would be nice to bring a local kid home and make him a hero, play some playoff games in Philly. But Cron's probably the guy that I would love to see come here, and a fifth starter. So
Yeah, I'm going to throw you out 3 names. Paul Blackburn just came off the injured list for the A's and threw well the other night. He's cheap. Michael Lorenzen on the Tigers is still on the IL, but should be coming off in the next week or two. And then I got to see this guy pitch in Boston a bunch, so I'm a Joe Kelly fan. Those guys are available for that 5th starter spot, and I wasn't even thinking about bats, guys. I wrote down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pitchers. So, Nowazik, bring us home, my friend. What do you think?
So there's a few things I kind of want to say before I talk about the trading deadline. Stott should bat against right-handers or left-handers, period, end of story. Stop it with, platooning or whatever the nonsense is. Brandon Marsh should play against left-handed and right-handed pitchers, period. So now second base is solid, center field is solid. I think Harper should start playing first soon. I think it's going to happen. I think you put Pache in left. I think Schwarber is your DH. Yeah. There's 2 people that I want. You mentioned one of them. I want Joe Kelly because the White Sox are going nowhere. He has the balls. He has that something about him, that moxie. I love that. That face he made when he threw at that guy and he's like, pulled that. And Marcus Stroman. The Cubs are going nowhere. Marcus Stroman is the guy that whatever you've got to do to get him. And I'm talking about McGeary. I'm not saying Painter. But, I think that you have to consider that we're talking about getting a 5th starter. I don't want a 5th starter. I want Nola to be our 5th starter. Yeah. Let's get a 3 starter. Let's get a 4 or a 2. I don't know. And I think Stroman could be that dude. He's been unbelievable this year on a terrible team. And I think he has that something about him that I don't know that Ranger Suarez shows no emotion. Zach Wheeler doesn't show emotion. Alvarado does. I just love Stroman the way he pitches. Kind of comes right out there at him. I don't know that I don't want a right-handed bat off the bench because I think that's sorely lacking in the way that Matt Stairs was for 08, but left-handed. I think we need that right-handed guy, and Cron's not it because he's got to play. The dude's got to play. But maybe there is some, just right-handed bat that we can kind of plug in there. Then a few other things. I'm reading through, and I don't know, Mike, if you can see the chats, but
I can't.
I'm just going to read a few of them just because, I appreciate these people being on. So Alex is asking, what's everyone drinking tonight? Well, we have the banquet on tap here, so I'm having that. What about you, Mike? What do you have?
I got Purgatory Beer Company. It's called 573 IPA. The brewers and owners of that brewery locally around here were both born in May of 1973.
Okay, that's cool. Fred Short wants slap nuts. I appreciate that, Fred. That's awesome.
He also wants to trade Nola. He just texted me. So
so Sig says we have a face for radio. I do we need to do video?
Thank you.
Jesus.
Not even a face for podcasting. That's
Duke Rhymes, this is great. Sig actually made, and I'm going to give them a plug. They made a beer called the Garage Series. So, and that's what
nice.
He's drinking tonight. So Sig and his wife Alex are home brewers. They made this label, and one of the funny things on the label is New York Mets fans, women should not drink this for obvious reasons. It's a good disclaimer to them. The Sig General and Alex General. Fred wants Eflin back. Alex is asking about Strom, so we got a few minutes. Does anyone want to kind of, Mike? What do you think about Strom? And
he was on my list. He's very expensive. I think you're gonna have to give up some.
No, Matt Strom, not Stroman.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Strom. Don't have him on my list.
No, the Phillies' current left-hander.
To add him to this. Yeah. And we've talked about this between the 5 of us. I think that's to me, that's the stopgap that you were talking about a minute ago until we figure out what we're going to do between now and the trade deadline. I mean, it worked in the beginning of the year. I'm not really sure why we're stubborn enough to keep him in the pen when, he could be doing, a 5 or 6 inning 5th starter. So I'm not sure I'd do that.
What do you think?
I'm a Strom guy. I like Strom, but I think he's starting to get exposed a little bit. His last couple of outings, he's come in, he's given up home runs. I think he might be overused a little bit. He was primarily a bullpen guy for most of his career, and we kind of stretched him a little bit early in the season as a starter. And now he seems to be kind of that what was Kapler's term for a relief pitcher? High leverage reliever. Early, like the first guy out of the pen, that high leverage guy.
Presenting beautifully.
He was presenting beautifully. The hair.
I can't believe you didn't call him Tan Dick.
Tan Dick, yeah.
Good old Tan Dick.
Good
old fucking Tan Dick.
A little overworked, a little exposed. He's given up a couple home runs his last couple times out. But I think he's a guy, again, you want to talk about emotion. You see it on his face. If he's not happy with a pitch he threw, or if he strikes a guy out, he's got the hair flowing. I mean, he's got it all going on. So he's a guy I like. I like to see more of him, but I think they're overusing him a little bit right now.
Yeah, just as a follow-up on that, and not that I disagree with you 100%, but there's two different preparations when you're starting and when you're a reliever. And when you're back and forth like that, I kind of don't blame him. But I do think every time he gives up a home run, he should have to cut his hair a little bit. Just saying.
Are we sure he's not Jankowski? Or do we have confirmation that are we sure he's not Megadeth?
Have they been in the same room?
They've never been seen in the same room.
Yeah.
Rarely in the same stadium. These two.
So,
What do you think about trading Nola? Like trading Nola and just doing like a Rick Wise for Steve Carlton type, like 2 power guys like Nola and Stroman, just changing things for him. Is that?
I'm in.
I do that. I would do that.
I'll drive Nola to Chicago.
Nola and Wrigley would be great too. Just imagine the bombs he'd give up there.
Oh my God. Then he'd blame the wind again. Oh,
right. Absolutely. They'll rename Waveland Avenue.
So, hey guys, this has been an amazing 40 almost minutes now, and I think we had a little discussion on how long this should have been, and maybe in the future we stretch it out a little bit. But for me, I'm calling this one a W for the first time around. So appreciate everything that you guys came and brought to the table, and I'll just kick it over to the founder to sign us off today.
Yeah, so I appreciate everyone tuning in and listening. I appreciate the comments, all the support we get. Look for us next week. We're going to try to do this weekly, at least a few times a month. As Mike said, we want to keep it short and sweet, 30 to 45 minutes. And we were talking about our sign off, and the sign off is always going to be the same. So thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Fuck the Mets and fuck Joe Carter. And have a good night, everyone.
All right.
Fuck the Mets.
See you next time.